Welcome back to the Ground Cinnamon. Today I'm going to show you a burger and it's going to be very special because it's been completely crafted by yours truly. That's right, I used to sell this burger at my cafe a couple of years ago and it was the best performing dish of the cafe. I'm really glad to share it with you and I really hope you enjoy this one.
So we are making a chicken burger. So let's talk a little bit about the meat. Now chicken would often be considered a little too boring for a burger. And that's because it's a little too mild, it's a little too subtle. And unlike say beef, which has this strong beefy flavor that's going to hold itself through a burger, chicken is a little too light for a burger setup. So you want to give it some help. You want to pep it up with some onions, some garlic, some tomato. Now a beef burger you'd really be done with just salt and pepper. Not this, here you want to give it that extra bit. You also want to add some green chilies. And why green chilies? And that's because it's going to go really well with the hero of this dish, Worcestershire sauce.
So Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce easily has the most interesting history when it comes to food history. The British come to India, they fall in love with tamarind chutney, imli chutney, that's right. And they take it back to Britain, hoping to replicate it. They hire a chemist to do that, and it is a big disaster until they go back 9 months later to find this exquisite, this amazing sauce that had happened by mistake. Now, to explain it very broadly, a Worcestershire sauce is a tamarind sauce with a fish base. So it's tamarind and anchovies, those are the main ingredients with some secret spices. But what we're looking for is actually the tamarind and the anchovies. Now, if you don't have Worcestershire sauce at home, to replicate this recipe, you can do 2 parts tamarind water and 1 part soy sauce. The tamarind, you want the sourness, that is really the backbone of this dish, and the soy sauce will be a decent replacement for the fish because it's going to bring the same umami into the dish. Now that is exactly the reason why green chilies and some classic Indian spices work so well with Worcestershire sauce. Green chilies, black pepper. Black pepper is not so Indian, but you get my point.
As you see, I'm using tomato paste, and the reason is it's better. It has more flavor, it's easier to use, and the overall product tends to come out better. But if you don't like using it, or if you don't have access to it, the formula is really simple. Every 1 tablespoon of tomato paste is replaceable by 1 tomato, 1 large tomato. Now we have an option of adding all of these ingredients to the mince raw, but I really wouldn't recommend. I would recommend you cook it off. That is exactly why I have a couple of tablespoons of oil. Now you want to do this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, even distribution of flavor. For example, the green chilies, you want an even distribution of heat and not this sudden burst of heat where you're going to run for some water. Secondly, tomato paste. Now you can't add tomato paste raw to any product. If you want to add raw ingredients, I would recommend you use fresh tomatoes. Finally, raw ingredients tend to perish a whole lot faster. While cooking up the aromatics, you always want to start with the onion, and that is because it's going to take maximum time. In general, you would add the garlic shortly after. But if you want to retain more garlicky flavor, you want to retain as much garlic flavor, what you do is cook off the tomato and add the garlic only later. Now you want the garlic cooked off, but you don't want to expose it to heat for too long. The lesser you expose it to heat, the more flavor will it retain. If and when you have liquid ingredients, it always helps to add your seasonings to it. Again, once mixed, there's a more even distribution of flavor. Now these ingredients cooked off are also going to go into the sauce. After which, the entire mixture is going to go into your chicken mince. But before you add it to the chicken mince, you want this mixture completely cooled off. Once added, there's only one rule. Do not overwork your meat. Here on, you want to chill it, and you want to chill it for at least 2 hours. The longer you keep it, the better it's going to get. And you want to do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, marination. The garlic is going to take a little bit to mature in the marinade, so you want to give it enough time. And number two, you want the mince to firm up. By firming up, you're going to avoid adding eggs and breadcrumbs.
Now, the one way you can really ruin a burger, actually there are 2 ways you can really ruin a burger patty, and the one way is by overworking your meat. When you make a burger patty, you want the meat to be a little loose so the juices flow in between the meat. If you make it really tight, the juices have no way to flow but out, and so the patty is going to come out really dry. Another big mistake that people make is adding an egg for binding. You add an egg, there's too much moisture in the mince, and so you add a lot of breadcrumbs to tighten it out. And then there is the seesaw of eggs, breadcrumbs, and eventually it'll almost be 50% breadcrumbs. Avoid it. Chicken by itself has enough albumin, it has enough protein to hold itself once cooked. So don't add eggs.
Let's get straight to the cooking. Along with the burger buns here, I've got a cookie cutter. Now this cookie cutter is not mandatory, it's going to help me shape my burger patty. Now you want these cookie cutters as big as your burger bun, preferably slightly bigger because your patties will see some shrinkage. This burger, I'm going to dress it with some mayonnaise and mustard. Now if you find this a little too boring, I have a beautiful burger mayo recipe provided in a link in the description box below, and it is good. You also want some tomatoes, onions, lettuce. Some people don't like tomatoes on their burgers. I think they're just crazy. Now if you're headed for a meeting after this meal, you can avoid the fresh onions, just caramelize them. And lettuce, take my word, chopped lettuce, the texture is going to add next level. Chop your lettuce, guys, it's amazing. So you want a hot pan. You don't want the smoking hot, but you want it almost there. And while it heats up, I'm going to shape my burger patty. Now you could do this with your hands, but this is a video. I'd like to look a little more professional, so I'm using this ring. Avoid cross-contamination though. Use an aluminum foil below this. Now before we add the patty onto this pan, you want to grease it with some oil. Now once it goes onto the pan, it's going to take some time to cook. Now leave it as is, don't play around with it. And you will see the color change. You will see the color change from bottom up. And as it reaches halfway, you want to flip it. Once you flip it, you want to start working on your buns. You want to get these buns nice and toasty, and for this purpose, you could use some butter or some oil like I am. And now the question is, when do you add the cheese slice? You want to add the cheese slice when you feel the patty is about 10 to 15 seconds from finishing. And the reason is, you don't want the cheese to melt beyond a point of control where it's going to flow all over the pan. Now onto the bottom layer of your buns, you want to add some mayonnaise, some lettuce. On top you want some mustard. Where does the tomato go? I think it goes at the bottom, but there's a big debate on it. Onto this goes our finished patty with some beautiful melted cheese on top and some rings of onions on top of that. Now try not to forget the mustard, because the mustard really helps with cutting the richness of a burger. It helps with the meatiness, it balances the whole burger out. Into this you can also add some gherkins, some fried mushrooms, some pickles. Now this burger is a meal unto itself. It's pretty balanced, it has protein, it has starch, and it has fiber. But I'm going to make it a little more unhealthy with some fries and some coleslaw. How to make fries and coleslaw? I have made a separate video for this. The link is in the description box below. Do give it a watch.
And that is my burger. Now I really can't say we're done here, and that is because there's another video waiting for you, and that one has french fries, coleslaw, burger mayo. It has like the burger mayo, like the MCD burger mayo. Do give it a watch. You guys are gonna love that one, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make the burger at home. You guys are gonna love it. And if you've enjoyed the video, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.